All right, so we're going on to the next video. And this video, I feel is going to be powerful already because the energy in here is still high. And this video is going to be about accountability and application. Wow. Stop talking. Be accountable. Start some action. We're going to go to Santara and let her start it off. We always take it off with the feminine energy. And go ahead, Queen.
Well, when we're talking about accountability, we have a lot of so-called leaders in the conscious community or aware community, and then we also have just other people in our community as a whole, whether it be celebrities, from entertainment, rappers, actors, philanthropists. You know, there are a lot of people in our community who may have the means to do things for us, and they're just not doing it. And when we talk about accountability, we as the people who are putting them in the positions that they are have to hold them accountable. You know, we have to have these conversations with them. We have to, if need be, stop supporting them in a sense, if we can't get their attention otherwise. You know, there are things that we can do as a people because we all know that when it's Christmas or when the new J's come out, we're going to spend our money. So if we're going to give them our wealth and support them, then we should hold them accountable for what they're going to do with it in return. And that goes for politicians as well. You know, all of those people who are in a position of some kind of power that we give them, because we have the power as the people, and we put these people in those positions. It's, like I said, celebrities, so-called leaders. We have to continue to make sure they're doing what we need them to do for us. Otherwise, they need to move around, and we have the power to make them do that. And that's also application. You know, hold them accountable, and if they're willing, then we can put some real things on the table that we can apply to what's going on with us. Not just talking, not just making a code of conduct and posting it on Facebook, but actually applying it and holding ourselves accountable for upholding the things that we come up with.
Cool. Anybody else want to jump in on that? Don't be shy. Come on,
I
just get it
definitely,
in.
I definitely piggyback on what she said, man. Definitely in agreement and want to accord with it. And I would just like to take it a step further as far as, and I'm sure the brothers will expound on it after me, is that we look to these celebrities or entertainers that are have great wealth or riches, and we want them to liberate us. We want them to alleviate us of our oppression, and we don't want to do the work. So even though everybody has their flaws, we don't know the hard work that they put in maybe to get to where they were. And we want to benefit off of you know, their success. Now some of these people, what they do, maybe they, you know, kind of con their way into success or whatnot, but we cannot look to these people in these high positions as our savior. You have to free yourself. What are you doing? If I'm in an elite position and you need $1 million to improve your condition, why would I come down into your community and give you $1 million when you are not handling the resources at your current availability? You see what I'm saying? You're not maximizing your efforts, you know what I'm saying, with the current resources you do have, no matter how small they are. So we cannot sit here, and I don't want to call out any celebrity in particular or, you know, anything like that, because I don't want to try to get famous off of bad mouthing them. But for the general scope, we cannot look to these people as our immediate saviors or alleviate from our oppression. It starts here. We have to meet weekly. We have to go out in the community after these cameras turn off, after the video is gone. I was watching a political video the other day, and I forget what the action plan was called, but these people have plans to stop grassroots movements like this. They literally have plans. When grassroots movements get popular, they have action plans to kill it because they don't want them having any type of competition. So we are a threat when we start mobilizing. But as long as we're talking, I mean, if we only talk, it's good to talk, but if we're only talking and then we're looking for handouts for people who make more money than us, we will never get anything done.
So,
go ahead.
With that being said, I'm going to put the pressure on all 5 of us. 4 people in front of the camera, 1 person behind the camera. We're sitting here talking about not being all about talk and being accountable. What are we gonna do? There's 5 people in this room right now. That doesn't mean that we need to raise $1 million. We don't need $100,000. We have 5 people right now. We may not all have high-paying jobs. What are we gonna do today? Or tomorrow? We have a movement here. We all are in agreement that something needs to be done, and we don't want to keep pointing the finger outwards.
Right.
We need to point it inwards. So, Kahotep, what are we gonna do, brother?
First, we got to stop depending on other people. You know, if we look like if we're looking at celebrities and things like that to help us get out of our situation, I think we're going to continue to be in this situation. And we don't realize that if they haven't helped us by now, it's not going to come. You know, I mean, we can't. I don't believe that they do not see the condition that our family, our race is in. But still, at the same time, they would rather talk about making it rain than putting that money into our community. You know, if we have over $1 trillion spending power, why are we asking anybody to help us do anything? We have to start coming together and do these things ourselves. Once we start doing that, once we start buying the property in our communities, you know, once we and if we buy a corner store and we start patronizing that store, that would get all the other races that have corner stores in our neighborhood. You know, and once that person get out, we put our money, we buy that building, we continue to grow into that community. Those are going to be the things that help us get out of this situation and getting that black power in our dollar. But as long as we are waiting for a handout, as long as we're waiting for somebody to come in and take over the situation for us, it's never going to happen. You know, other races, they understand the power of supporting their culture. You know, and we, for some reason, we feel like we want to invite everybody into ours, but nobody want to invite us into theirs. We have to realize that, like, look, there's nothing wrong with being race first. That's not a crime to be about your race. It's going to allow a situation to happen that our race can continue to thrive up in this world. You know,
Why is it only a problem when we do it?
because
Everyone else does it except when we talk about it, it's a problem.
it's a problem. That's the trap door.
And the funny thing is, it's only a problem for us.
Yeah, that's one.
It's not even a problem. Why you people not saying y'all should unify? Spanish people not saying y'all should unify, even though you know they're our closest brother.
Yeah.
You know, every other race unifies. The only time that we have a problem with unifying is when another black person says it. That's a problem.
It's psychological.
That's true.
It's Dr. Joy DeGruy. She has books, lectures. She came out with the psychological, pretty much, effects of slavery, post-traumatic slavery syndrome, something like that. You know, and so it's that's where it comes from. They tore us apart. You know, if we know the story of coming over from Africa, the Middle Passage, you have to really dig deep into the psychological effects. They packed us like sardines. We had to make a boat trip across the water for however long that took, and then get here, then strip you of your name, your language, everything,
the culture,
and put you up there like cattle. I mean, you know, there's a whole process psychologically that our ancestors had to go through, and, you know, and then go through that, live like that for, you know what I'm saying, however many hundred years.
Yeah,
So, and there's so much during that time period. They did so much to us. They beat us. They raped our women and they raped our men. A lot of people don't know that, but right after they got done whipping you, they was, you know, come behind you with some other stuff too. You know, and that's like a whole psychological process of just demasculating, just tearing a whole people apart.
Cedric, man, how do we break these mental chains?
First of all, I want to say, man, this is a blessing to be amongst such intelligent and profound individuals like yourself, man. I mean, this is really commendable, and really this is deeper than just talk, because, you know, we've had people who specialize and had a PhD in talking. You know, black folk will talk to your head falls off, but not be saying nothing, because, you know, we've grown comfortable with lies. I heard someone say today, hey, you can lie to me just as long as you don't hurt my feelings. And what we have to understand is that everything we're running off of is emotion. See, if you don't have a story, if you don't have a heritage, that's why they pimp us and they tell us Black History Month. Because they know history is dead. History has no connection to you. That's something that happened prior to you. But heritage, everybody else has heritage. The Asians have heritage. The Hispanics have heritage. White folk teach you their heritage every time you turn on the TV. Everywhere you go, every school you go into, they're teaching you their heritage. You appreciate their heritage. You want to be a part of their heritage. You fight for their heritage. You'll kill another black person over their heritage. But your own is history. You have no connection to anything that is your own.
That was so powerful.
To own something you can only consume because you've been a consumer all your life. You've never had anything of your own. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you look like. You're afraid to show your hair. You're afraid to say black is beautiful. You're afraid to stand in front of white folk and let them know that we are the people.
And the gods.
Man,
God.
So as long as you are not able to walk in your greatness, to walk in your essence, nothing you do will be blessed. Nothing you do will pass the test. And you'll always be in the butt end. Because the only thing these Peckerwoods, the only thing these Hispanics, the only thing these Italians, the only thing the Irish, the only thing the Asian are unifying on is keeping you down. That's all they unify on. They hate each other. They kill each other faster than anything. That's why they got us killing each other. White folk kill each other 85%. They taught us that. They taught us that madness. But the thing about it is, they will come together to make sure you and I, and even Brother Barack, little Brother Barack, and I call him little brother because he's afraid to stand up as a powerful black man. He's trying to accommodate. He's trying to fit in and compromise. He's trying to be liked. And that's what you have black people doing. Afraid to be black. Afraid to stand in your essence. So that's where I'm coming from with that simplicity, is because I know complex problems are solved with simple solutions. John F. Kennedy, before they killed him because he was trying to take the privatized money into an organized bank that would have no debt, because anytime you get a dollar bill, just know that's a debt. They tell you it's a note. It's a Federal Reserve note. The Federal Reserve is not federal. It's a private bank. It's a hustle. But before they killed him, he said, the business of America is business. The Godfather told you, this is business. So what we have to understand is everything we do is business. And when you're in a business, you got to know what is going on and realize that somebody's being hustled and exploited. That's what capitalism is all about, exploitation. And those who don't have the resources and the ability to understand the hustle and the game will be exploited. So I'm going to close my mouth, but before I do, I want to say what we have to do as individuals is get to the point to where we can be around our family members and not let their poison infect us. We have to get to the point to where wherever we are that. We ain't just wearing no hat, putting on no dashiki around these people, and then we going over here doing something else. No, you got to be what you are everywhere you go and stand on it and be willing to die and kill. Because that's all the white man respects. Look at who he respects. John Wayne, Patrick Henry, who said, give me liberty or give me what? Death. These Peckerwoods don't play. They let you know. They make sure you understand. If you are a man, you got to be willing to stand on that and kill and die for it at the same time. So I'll say this, and I promise I'll close my mouth, is we have 3 major sports, 92 teams in this country, and we got our kids playing them, breaking their leg, getting concussions, getting CTI and all this madness, and we only have one black man who owns a team, and Michael Jordan.
I've been saying it.
So, and I understand brothers get on him about his lack of this and lack of that and all that and all that, and I understand. But we got to understand, it's a capitalistic society. This is what he was taught to do. He's being a good Tom. That's just what it is. But at the same time, if we're going to respect Bill Gates, Respect a black man that used his ability in this racist Peckerwood society. He owns something, and he's worth $1.2 to $1.4 billion. But this is the cold part, and the reason why I brought it up. He's number 486 on the list of richest people in this country. So when we understand that wealth is accumulated through families, through generations, then we'll work in our families to put aside our differences and put our resources together in our families, and then you'll start seeing a change and transformation.
What we have to understand is these grassroots starts that we have now for these 5 people, we may not live to see the benefits of what we're putting down today. Our children's children may be the beneficiaries of our work today. But at some point, somebody has to put in the work. Are you willing to sacrifice that for your children's children?
That's what we have to do.
That's what we have to do.
So,
just like you said, 9 times out of 10, we would not see, the change that we want to see.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to know that it's not for us, it's for our children.
right.
400 years of slavery and the things that we've been through is not going to get corrected overnight. It took 400 years, so we have to put all these things in perspective and start having goals set. What we want to be at 3 years from now, 10 years from now, 20, because that's how our oppressors, that's how they do what they're doing today. It's for 20 years down the line.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So we have to understand the
Right.
game. And once we start understanding the game, we got to play the game regardless.
You got to.
I tell my kids that, regardless of how you look at it, you got to play this game called life. And if you're going to, since you have to play the game, you got to play to win. Now you have to understand how the game is played. So we have to start educating ourselves of what's going on, understanding on how money works, understanding about real estate, understanding about health, what to eat, what not to eat. There's so many things that we have to start, educating ourselves on that's going to help us be successful in our future for our children. But 9 times out of 10, we know we're not going to see it. But if we don't do nothing today, then we kicking the can for them to handle that. And what type of father will we be? What type of mothers are we going to be when we're like, look, I'm not going to deal with it. I'm going to let you deal with it.
And man, just to go off what he said, like the sis said, first off, is that we've been spent so many years of being oppressed and indoctrinated that, like he said, it's not going to happen overnight. And I like to use the analogy, a lot of people say, the Monopoly game, you see the memes going around, all we got to do is stand up. What we don't realize is that the game of Monopoly is won before it's ever started. The alliances are created before you ever roll the dice in Monopoly. So we have to understand that if we want to win the game, before we even roll the dice, we got to make sure we got our alliance together. So when you get in somebody else's land, somebody else's territory, then we got your back if you ain't got it. You see what I'm saying? Understand?
Yes, sir.
So we have to know, this is Art of War, Sun Tzu. We have to know that war is always won before any battle is ever fought. You feel me? So we got to understand, and I'm glad the brother and the sister brought that up.
Wow, that is so powerful, man. And this is the closeout of another great, powerful video. I want to thank my panel because it is great. There's so much knowledge and energy up here. Wow, I don't even know what to say, man. So I want to just send a shout out to Kyle Tap, Santara, Yashwan Moon, and Brother Cedric.
Peace and black family.
We out of here, man. We're going to be back at y'all again. We're going to be black at y'all again. Forever and ever.
Yeah.
Peace out. We love y'all.
Man, this